In the Persian Gulf at this hour, around 250 cargo ships are stranded at one of the world's most strategic maritime corridors. Oil tankers, LNG carriers, and container ships remain lined up in total standstill, and with every passing hour, the Strait of Hormuz remains blocked. This is no longer a disruption or a partial restriction. This is a full-scale blockade. Since the 4th of March 2026, Iran has declared the Strait of Hormuz completely off-limits to foreign shipping following U.S. and Israeli airstrikes on Iranian leaders. The waterway is now virtually sealed, choking off 20% of the world's oil and 20% of its LNG supply. And at this moment, even the most powerful navy on Earth is struggling to break the deadlock. The answer may not be more destroyers, more carrier groups, or more airstrikes. It may be the U.S. Marines, thousands of them aboard amphibious assault ships, now moving toward the Gulf. And if the crisis keeps escalating, they may be the force sent in to act. The Strait of Hormuz lies between Iran to the north and Oman and the UAE to the south. At its narrowest point, the Strait of Hormuz is just 34 kilometers wide. But the actual space available for shipping is far smaller. Two narrow sea lanes, each about 3.2 kilometers wide, separated by a buffer zone in the middle. And it was this tight corridor that carried a massive share of the world's energy every single day until March 4. In 2024, around 20 million barrels of oil moved through the Strait of Hormuz every day. That is hundreds of billions of dollars in energy trade forced through an extremely narrow choke point. And it is not just oil. From 2023 into 2025, roughly 20% of global LNG and 25% of the world's seaborne oil trade also passed through this strategic corridor. For Kuwait, Qatar, and Bahrain, the Strait of Hormuz is not just one option among many. It is their only maritime gateway. There is no real detour, no alternative sea route capable of carrying the load. When the strait is shut, these three states are effectively trapped at sea. And in theory, only 4 active pipeline systems could move Gulf oil overland to bypass the choke point controlled by Iran. Even at maximum capacity, the alternative pipelines can only cover a small fraction of the loss. The shortfall still runs into tens of millions of barrels per day, and the shock did not take weeks to hit the market. It landed within days, as oil prices surged almost immediately. By March 2, crude was still hovering between $75 and $85 a barrel. But in less than a month, the market caught fire. By late March, prices broke past $106, then surged to $114 a barrel, the highest level since the COVID-19 pandemic. At that point, the International Energy Agency issued an unusually stark warning. This was the most serious global energy security crisis in modern history, and Europe, already fragile, was the first to feel the udar. As the crisis hit, Europe was entering the fight with gas storage at only about 30% after a brutal winter. By mid-March, benchmark European gas prices had nearly doubled, climbing past 60 euros per megawatt hour. The pressure was so intense that the European Central Bank delayed its planned rate cuts, while the International Monetary Fund issued a warning. For every 10% rise in energy prices, global inflation could be pushed up by nearly half a percentage point. The shockwave did not stop at the trading floors. It hit everyday life directly. Bangladesh was forced to shut universities early. Pakistan and the Philippines moved to 4-day work weeks. Chemical and steel industries across the United Kingdom and the European Union imposed surcharges of up to 40%. That is the economic blast radius of a sealed Strait of Hormuz, not measured in months, but in weeks. Many people think the United States Navy only needs to form an escort screen to break the blockade. But the battlefield does not work that simply. Many people think the United States Navy only needs to form an escort screen to break the blockade. But the battlefield does not work that simply. This is exactly the kind of battle space designed to neutralize the greatest strength of the United States Navy. The first spearhead is the fast attack boats. Iran has large numbers of small, high-speed craft carrying heavy weapons and charging in as organized swarms. They are cheap, easy to replace, extremely hard to track, and fully capable of turning any major warship into a target trapped in a highly unfavorable war of attrition. Next comes the mines, quiet, simple, and extremely dangerous. Iran is believed to have more than 5,000 of them, enough to turn vital shipping lanes into a deadly trap. They can be dropped quickly from fast boats, submarines, or even from coastal positions. Cheap, hard to detect, and most dangerous of all, they can be laid far faster than opposing forces can clear them. Once the sea lane is mined, even the strongest escort force cannot fix the problem right away. The danger is already in the water, unseen and waiting to explode. Air power can strike Iran's staging areas and mine-laying boats, but it cannot stay over the coastline every moment to protect the crews clearing the channel. And that is where the operation slows down, becomes more complex, and far more dangerous. To protect the mine-clearing ships, you first have to control the ground around them. And that is where islands like Larak, Keshem, and Abu Musa become critical. These are not just patches of land in the water. They are military positions with radar, missiles, and observation posts looking directly down on the shipping lanes below. Whoever holds those positions holds the advantage over the entire strait. Iran has spent years turning these islands and coastlines into real fortresses. The goal is simple: control traffic through the strait without sending major warships into a direct fight. Along the coast are anti-ship missile sites set into rugged mountains, backed by heavy defenses and hardened underground facilities. Put simply, this is a system built to fire, hide, and fire again. On March 17, United States forces had to use heavy GBU 7-2 bunker buster bombs against Iran's underground missile sites along the coast. That choice alone shows how hardened those targets were. But the key point is this: even after a strike that powerful, Iran still was not stripped of its ability to fight. By March 5, Iran claimed it had already launched more than 900 missiles and nearly 2,500 drones in just a matter of days. But the more important point is this: many analysts believe Iran still has not committed its full strength. It appears to be holding part of its firepower in reserve for a longer fight. Air power can damage positions on the islands, but it cannot guarantee the entire threat will be wiped out in a single strike.